If a joke hurts only one person and entertains everyone else, it's not humor, it's humiliation. Asterisk, there's a moment that stays with you longer than you expect. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's usually followed by laughter. Someone makes a joke about you. Everyone smiles. Maybe you smile too. And on the surface, nothing bad happened. But something did happen. You just didn't have language for it yet. For a long time, I told myself I was being too sensitive. That's what everyone says, right? Relax, it's just a joke. Don't take it so personally. We're just messing with you. But here's what I eventually realized. If something hurts only one person and entertains everyone else, it's not humor. It's humiliation, socially approved. Humiliation disguised as a joke is one of the most effective psychological weapons we use against each other. Because it hides behind laughter. It denies intent. And if you react honestly, you become the problem. That's how it works. The joke lands. There's a pause. People look at you. Your reaction is being evaluated, not consciously or instinctively. If you laugh, you signal submission. If you don't, you signal threat. Either way, the hierarchy is reinforced. What makes this kind of humiliation especially damaging is that it doesn't look like abuse. There's no raised voice, no insult stated plainly, no obvious cruelty, just a smile, a tone shift, a punchline that uses you as material. And the moment you realize you've been reduced to an object, it's already too late to undo it. Here's the psychological core of it. Humor lowers defenses. Laughter relaxes the nervous system. It signals safety. So when humiliation is delivered inside a joke, your brain receives two conflicting messages at once. One part of you feels attacked. Another part of you is being told, this is safe. Everyone is laughing. That conflict creates confusion, and confusion prevents resistance. You don't know whether to defend yourself or play along. So most people choose the option that protects them socially. They laugh. That laugh is not agreement. It's survival. Humiliation jokes are rarely accidental, even when the person telling them insists they didn't mean anything by it. The subconscious almost always knows what it's doing. These jokes target vulnerabilities, insecurities, differences, moments of weakness you didn't announce, but someone noticed. And they're usually framed in a way that gives the speaker plausible deniability. I'm just joking. That's how we joke around here. If you knew me, you'd know I don't mean it. Notice what's missing. Accountability. Because humor gives power without responsibility. You get to assert dominance while pretending you didn't. This is why humiliation as humor thrives in groups. Groups need hierarchy. They always have. Someone has to be slightly lower, slightly less protected, slightly more expendable. Jokes become a way to test who can be pushed without consequence. If you accept the joke quietly, the group learns something about you. They learn where your boundaries are, or more accurately, where they aren't. Over time, the jokes escalate. They get sharper, more specific, more personal, because nothing challenged the first one. And the most damaging part isn't the joke itself. It's what happens inside you afterward. You replay it. You analyze your reaction. You wonder if you should have said something. You feel embarrassed for feeling hurt. That self-doubt is the real injury. Humiliation works by turning the target inward. You stop questioning the joke and start questioning yourself. Am I overreacting? Why can't I just take a joke? Everyone else laughed, so maybe I'm wrong. That internalization is exactly the point. From a dark psychology perspective, humiliation disguised as humor creates learned silence. You're trained not to speak up, and not because you're weak, but because speaking up costs too much socially. If you confront it, you risk being labeled difficult, sensitive, awkward, the one who can't take a joke. And that label sticks. So instead, you adapt. You preempt the jokes by making them yourself. You laugh first. You downplay your own discomfort. You participate in your own humiliation because it feels safer than resisting it. That's not resilience. That's conditioning. People who use humor to humiliate often don't need to raise their voice or insult you directly. They rely on the group to do the work for them. Laughter becomes reinforcement. Silence becomes consent. And here's something uncomfortable. The group isn't neutral. Every laugh is a choice. Every silence is a signal. Humiliation survives because it's entertaining and because most people would rather be complicit than targeted. This is why these jokes often happen in workplaces, Friend groups, families, environments where social belonging matters. The fear of exclusion keeps people compliant. What makes it even darker is how easy it is to deny. Because if you try to explain why it hurt, you're forced to translate a felt experience into logic. And humor doesn't translate well. It was just a joke sounds reasonable. It made me feel small sounds subjective. And in social settings, subjectivity loses. But your nervous system doesn't lie. If your body tensed, if your chest tightened, if your thoughts spiraled afterward, something real happened. Humiliation disguised as humor erodes self-trust. Over time, you stop listening to your internal signals because they conflict with social feedback. You learn to doubt your own discomfort. And that's the deepest damage. Because once you stop trusting your reactions, you become easier to control. You don't push back. You don't set boundaries. You tolerate more than you should, not because you're weak, but because you've been taught that objecting makes things worse. Eventually, the jokes stop being jokes. They become expectations. You're the one who can take it, the funny one, the easy target, an identity you never chose but were assigned. The truth is, real humor doesn't need a victim. It doesn't rely on discomfort. It doesn't require someone to swallow pain to keep the mood light. Humiliation jokes always punch down or inward and toward vulnerability. And if you've ever walked away from laughter feeling smaller than before, trust that feeling. It wasn't nothing. It was your mind recognizing a threat disguised as connection. Understanding this doesn't mean you become humorless. It means you become precise. You start noticing patterns, timing, targets, repetition, and once you see it clearly, something shifts. The joke loses power, because humiliation only works when it stays unnamed. And now, it has a name.